This is ABC 7 News at 6.
A house fire in Augusta left one man injured today. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, crews were dispatched to 347 Riverside Drive, where Augusta Fire Chief Dave Groder says they found a fire in the basement. Officials say one man was inside at the time. He was critically injured and rushed to a local hospital where Life Flight was dispatched to meet him. Groder says the fire was contained to the basement and quickly brought under control. The northbound side of Riverside Drive in Augusta between Route 3 and Stevens Road was shut down as crews worked the scene. The cause of the fire is under investigation by the State Fire Marshal's office. The man's condition is not known at this time. Augusta police are investigating a suspicious package delivered to the Maine Republican Party headquarters. Chief Kevin Lully says officers responded around 1 p.m. to the headquarters location on Higgins Street for a report of a suspicious package received. There are no confirmed details as to what was in the package. The package was isolated, though. Building occupants were evacuated, and police are working with other law enforcement partners to identify the contents. Police say there are currently no known injuries or illnesses associated with the package.
It's unfortunate that things are getting insane like this. I mean, we're just a political party. We haven't done anything crazy, and now we're getting, stupid envelopes with stuff in it. So it's not going to stop us, and we always act cautiously when it comes to safety situations, but we're going to continue doing our work because this stuff is getting out of hand.
Well, Augusta police ask anyone with information regarding the whereabouts or identity of anyone involved to reach out to the Augusta Police Department's Criminal Investigations Bureau at 207-626-2370. You hit extension 3418. A man was arrested in Brewer after several alleged instances of trespassing. 58-year-old David Limacher was arrested for criminal trespass on February 14th after Brewer police say they located him outside a Wilson Street business attempting to fight customers entering. According to police, Limacher refused to leave the property after multiple warnings and was arrested. He was later released. Later that same day, police located Limacher ordering a pizza to a closed South Main Street business. He was arrested again and charged with another count of criminal trespass and violation of conditional release. He was later released again. Today, officers responded to a report of a man sleeping in a different closed business on South Main Street. Officers arrived and located Limacher at the scene. He was arrested once more on charges of criminal trespass and violation of conditional release. Well, switching gears now, folks in Bangor are gathering for a meeting with the Bangor Water District to discuss a potential price hike. Our Callie Warren is there right now. Callie, how's the meeting going?
Beth, folks are here tonight to make their voices heard during this public hearing, questions and concerns around the potential of this price increase for water in Bangor. The Bangor Water District is proposing a 10.5% increase to water pricing for 2026. Now, this is a flat rate for all water users. That includes everyone from residential customers to fire protection organizations. Water District trustees say that the average residential customer will see an increase of $11 per quarter or $44 for the year. Tonight's meeting opened with a presentation from the Water District to explain why exactly this increase is being proposed. Reasoning includes higher overhead costs for the Water District due to inflation, increased energy costs, and funding for infrastructure updates, which the district says that there were 73 water main breaks in Bangor in 2025 alone. This meeting tonight is a public hearing to discuss more about the proposal and what it would mean for Mainers in this area. We're hearing from some folks in the community at the podium right now. We'll be bringing you some much more from district spokespersons and from residents later this evening. And if this rate change is approved as proposed, it will take effect April 1st. Beth, back to you.
Callie, thank you. Meanwhile, as Maine's housing shortage gets worse, officials warn that if nothing changes, the state could be nearly 80,000 units short by 2030. At the State House today, the newly formed coalition Build Homes, Build Community laid out its priorities for the abbreviated legislative session. Members echoed concerns raised by state leaders, saying the lack of housing is directly tied to a lack of workforce, as it makes it harder for employees to hire and for communities to grow. The coalition says it wants lawmakers to deregulate barriers they believe are slowing development and driving up costs.
Maine has experts who have already identified specific regulatory barriers that slow housing down without improving outcomes. The LD 1375 process produced concrete recommendations we should enact because predictability and speed matter if we want to get homes built.
The group also pushed for bills they say would streamline state permitting and reduce delays to get more homes built faster. A group of Maine people is working to spread the message to stop tax cuts for the wealthy and put that money towards solving Maine's affordability crisis. Mainers for Tax Fairness brought that message to lawmakers today in conjunction with the legislative hearing on the tax components of Governor Mills' supplemental budget. Leaders say these funds should help Mainers struggling with everyday expenses like housing, health care, and food.
We need more than just one-time checks. We need long-term solutions for long-term problems. No amount of Band-Aids will fix an economy that too often feels rigged. Mainers want stability. They want fairness. They want solutions with staying power.
Tipping added that there are several bills in the legislature on these issues, and leaders need to work to ensure they become law. Alrighty, folks, well, now we'll check in with Jack Webb and Max Sturm at the Maine High School basketball tournament. Jack and Max, how are things shaping up tonight?
Beth, things are great over here. It's been an unbelievable day of semifinal action. We've got a little break in the action right now. The Foxcroft Academy girls are warming up on the court right now as they're getting ready to play George Stevens, followed by Mattanock and Caribou in the Class C girls semifinals. This morning, we had the Class D boys semifinals. That's going to be a Madawaska versus Machias regional final on Saturday. Then this afternoon, we had about as good of games as you're going to see in the tournament. It was high-flying action as Mattanock fell to Fort Kent, and then Caribou beat Washington Academy. That's all you can ask for is great crowds and community showing up to support their teams and great back-and-forth play on the floor. That is exactly what we got in that afternoon session, and we're pumped up for this girls session as well. And of course, we're gonna have all the highlights for you tonight on Fox 22 for Fast Break and at 11 on ABC for Fast Break Extended. And also, we're gonna have a little more in this show showing you one of those games from earlier today, and Mac's gonna join me then.
Sounds great, Jack. Thank you so much. Back to the State House now. The Joint Standing Committee on the Judiciary heard public testimony today on bills that aim to support tribal sovereignty for the Wabanaki nations. LD 785 is a priority bill for the Wabanaki Alliance and Maine's Environmental Priorities Coalition. Advocates say the bill would restore the Wabanaki nation's inherent right to self-determination and treat the Wabanaki nations like all other federally recognized tribes. According to the bill's co-sponsor, Senator Rick Bennett of Oxford, the legislation is based on the recommendations of a bipartisan task force of legislators to amend the Maine Indian Claims Settlement Act to restore self-governance over a range of issues.
It's not just about the tribes. It's about all of us Mainers. And if the tribes are prospering and are free to pursue their own ambitions, then I think that it will lift the boats for all Mainers.
The committee also heard public testimony on LD 395, an act to restore access to federal laws beneficial to the Wabanaki nations. According to the Wabanaki Alliance, this bill would modernize the settlement acts, ensuring that the tribes in Maine are not excluded when Congress passes federal legislation for tribes nationwide. Alrighty, folks, let's hit pause now and get a first check of our forecast.
All right, Beth, thank you. Quality Automotive, call for an appointment at 922-2043. Let's talk weather out there again today. Look at temperatures hanging out pretty much in the mid, even a few upper 30s across the region today. And it was sunny. It felt good. Light winds across the area as well. Tomorrow will be a nice day as well until we get some snow, likely in the region later on tomorrow night. Okay, so the wind out there now basically out of the northwest around 10 miles per hour. We can definitely handle that. It'll actually go calm for tomorrow and then less windy tomorrow night and also throughout the weekend. All right, so here we go with clear skies across the area now, but there's a pretty big system over here to the west of us. This will largely go to our south. This piece will, but behind it, there's more that'll likely bring us some snowfall later on tomorrow night into Saturday morning, and that'll likely give us a couple of inches of new snow late tomorrow into Saturday. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is clouding over late with low temperatures cold down near 6. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
Thank you, Jeff. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, members of Maine law enforcement are looking to expand a promising pilot program that started last year. And the first female brigadier general in Maine has been promoted. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
What matters more? A bank with innovative products or one that cares for the community? At Bangor Savings Bank, we think it's both because our innovation helps customers build stronger credit, earn rewards when shopping local, give teens independence and financial experience, and simplify business with local solutions. So what matters more? You.
From pop music legend Cyndi Lauper and Broadway's Harvey Fierstein, Kinky Boots, the Tony and Grammy-winning feel-good best musical about seizing your destiny and being who you want to be. Be inspired by the Broadway show that has captured hearts around the world. Kinky Boots, March 3rd, Cross Insurance Center. On sale at Ticketmaster.com.
I'm a big believer in super beta prostate. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up at night for so many bathroom trips. I wouldn't say it if I didn't truly believe it.
When people think Dunkin', they think of a big brand. But Dunkin's are owned by families like mine, serving our Maine communities. I met my husband at a local Dunkin', and we've built our lives here. Our kids grew up here, our team is local, and we support the moments that bring this community together. That's why this business belongs to the locals who walk through our doors every day. It's not just a Dunkin', it's the Bailey family's Dunkin'.
I'm Jim with Lowry Law. I was contacted by a woman who asked me to help one of her friends who had been hurt by a drunk driver. We got him a $250,000 settlement. If you've been hurt by a drunk driver, call me. I'm your go-to guy.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The first woman to serve as Adjutant General of the Maine National Guard and the first female Brigadier General in Maine has been promoted. Brigadier General Diane Dunn was promoted to Major General this week. The ceremony happened in front of family, friends, state colleagues, and currently serving and retired service members. Major General Dunn is the Adjutant General for the Maine Army National Guard and Maine Air National Guard, as well as the Commissioner for the Maine Department of Defense, Veterans, and Emergency Management. She has held numerous positions since starting her career in 1988, including Company Commander, Battalion Commander, and Chief of Staff, to name a few. In 2020, Dunn became the first female Brigadier General in the state of Maine. In 2024, she became the 41st Adjutant General for the Maine National Guard and the first female to ever hold that position. Her newest promotion makes her the first female Major General to serve in the Maine National Guard. She said, quote, "I do not see this as a personal achievement alone, but as a testament to progress and possibility. If this moment inspires even one young person to believe that there is no limit to their service, then it will have meant something far greater than a star on a uniform," end quote. Well, members of Maine law enforcement are hoping to expand an electronic victim notification system to more county jails following the launch of a pilot program last summer. Our Grace Blanchard shares more.
The Maine Sheriff's Association is pushing for lawmakers to fund an electronic victim notification system to be implemented across all of Maine's county jails.
Legislators themselves have spoken several times now asking us that very important question. Why is Maine the last state in the country to have electronic victim notification? It simply doesn't make sense.
In May of last year, the Sheriff's Association launched a pilot program at 4 jails using WVII. a system where individuals can voluntarily register to be notified upon the release of an inmate.
This program's worked incredibly well. We've had over 6,000 notifications that have occurred already.
Sheriff Morton says they are now hoping to see lawmakers approve $250,000 in the upcoming supplemental budget to move beyond the pilot project and establish a 2-year program that reaches all 15 county jails.
This situation allows us to make sure that we're protecting victims and witnesses who I feel have been gotten too often in the criminal justice system reform, that we're losing track or losing the attention that should be paid on victims and witnesses.
According to Sheriff Morton, the service is also intended to complement and improve existing notification systems mandated by law for certain crimes.
This isn't a county corrections issue. This is a statewide issue to protect victims and witnesses through electronic notification and no longer put our state last in something that's probably the most important.
Morton is expected to advocate for the funding at a public hearing in Augusta next week. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our Jack Webb and Max Sturm are standing by live in Bangor to bring you the latest from the high school basketball tournament. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Tony Hafford from TC Hafford Basement Systems, the all things basement-y company. Basement waterproofing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. Since 1991, over 15,000 Maine homeowners have trusted TC Hafford Basement Systems to fix their basements. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basement-y.
A little winter weather never stopped Old George or Toyota from offering incredible savings to celebrate his birthday on vehicles from the longest-lasting brand at the Toyota Washington's Birthday Savings Event. You could get a $299 a month lease on a ruggedly refined Tacoma with a total contract cost of $16,160. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance. Come get your savings in honor of Old George at your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
In winter, accidents can happen in an instant. From icy sidewalks to winter roads, there are close calls around every corner. And when a close call becomes something more, insurance companies won't always look out for you, but we will. For over 50 years, the law offices of Joe Bornstein have helped injured Mainers. Accidents happen to be our specialty. When it's more than a close call, call Joe.
Dorsey Furniture has just purchased the entire Bedding Industries of America 2025 showroom. That's one of America's oldest and largest premium mattress manufacturers. They manufacture famous Eastman House and Eclipse mattresses, as well as over 20 other trusted brands. From that buyout, we've received 40 mattresses, mostly queen size, and right now everyone is 50% off. Limited quantity, no reorders. When they're gone, they're gone. Dorsey Furniture, family owned, Maine trusted.
Sleep well, my friends.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. We're live here in Bangor. Between sessions, we've got bands warming up behind us. Both teams are on the court. Can't warm up yet because we're still over 30 minutes away from tip-off. This is Jack Webb. That's Max Sturm. Max, great day we've had so far here in Bangor.
Yeah, great Class D and Class C boys slate so far today. 4 really great games that we can't wait to show you guys tonight on Fast Break. But we've got a really good set of girls games coming up these next 2 games as well in Class C.
Professional tees there from Max. We have Madawaska and Machias punching their ticket to the D North Boys Regional Final this morning. And then this afternoon we had 2 great Class C boys games as Fort Kent and Caribou punched their ticket to the regional final. We want to show you this Mattinacook Fort Kent semifinal. First Class C semi of the day. We're going to pick this one up in the first, where the Lynx really took over this game. Andrew Oliver, he started fast. He put the Lynx up 5-0 with the three-pointer, but the Warriors would erase that deficit quickly as Aiden Jeffers lays it in to tie it at 5. but Mattinock would take control of the first half. Like I said, again, it's Oliver with a corner three to put MA up 8. They'd lead at 29-25 at the break. Fort Kent, though, they would storm out of halftime. It's Mason Pelletier. He drains the three from the same spot. 6-0 run out of the break. They're up 2. Lynx fight back as Oliver feeds True Weatherby, the big man. He lays it in to put Mattinock up 3. But this is where it all changed for good. End of the third. Jeffers on the break. He gets intentionally fouled, but also finishes the bucket. That's a 4-point play after an extra free throw. Warriors up 4 in the fourth. It's Jeffers again. He drives and finishes through the contact for the bucket and the foul to put Fort Kent up 4 again. Then it's Jeffers, of course, with the cherry on top. He had 23 points, 18 in the second half as number 3 Fort Kent advances to the D North final. They'll take on Caribou.
I mean, it feels great. Our school hasn't been known as a basketball team, and we've just always wanted to get to this point, and to finally do it feels great.
Feels great, everybody doubting us, thinking they're gonna, win. It just feels great just coming in here and getting them out of there. We come from a small town, so when we come to these places, like I said in the last interview, we just gotta show out and then show what we can do, and I think we did that tonight.
Max, those Class C games were exactly what you want, right? Great community support, a packed crowd, a crowd that's into it, and of course, great back and forth play on the court.
Really good play on the court, and especially from Fort Kent, who really have been the second half Warriors. Funny enough, that's their team name, but they really have been very good in the second half of these games that they've played so far. They're going to have their work cut out for them versus Caribou, though. That team is very scary, number 1 team in the Class C North right now. So when those two teams face off, you got to expect it's going to be a really good game. Fort Kent will fight them hard, but Caribou is that number 1 team.
Certainly, we're going to see Caribou again in the last game as they take on the number 1 seed, undefeated Mattinock Lynx on the girls' side. But right now, Max, I know you want to talk a little bit about this George Stevens Foxcroft Academy game. We're going to have tip-off at 7.
Yeah, so Foxcroft Academy is coming off of what Coach Tyler Muzzy says is their worst game of the year. They still got to win, and you mentioned it on Fast Break the other night. There's something to be said about getting a win that feels like a loss. You can learn from it, and you still have a game ahead of you. And they're going to go ahead and face this really good George Stevens team who they've been kind of clashing all year in terms of a seeding, and now they get to see it play out here tonight.
It is going to be a great one. We'll have all the highlights for you on Fox 22 at 10 for Fast Break and 11 on Fast Break Extended. For now, here is your full 5-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Da Vinci Signs, innovative signage designed for impact. And here we go with temperatures across the area today, pretty much in the mid-30s for us today. Tomorrow, same story, but then we do have some snow back in the forecast tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Out there today, though, 36 here in Bangor, 35 Millinocket, 32 for Greenville. Machias 34, we'll take it. The average high about 35. Most locations are right near that today. To the west of us, though, much warmer across the south over here. And, of course, the cold stuff is still hanging on right there. It is going to stay there for now. The wind today, basically northwest around 10 miles per hour. We can definitely handle that. Now, hold on with the wind, though, because tonight's going to go calm for a couple hours, meaning there could be some dense fog in the area tonight. And tomorrow, we'll likely get breezier in the evening hours tomorrow night, and more so for us on Saturday morning as a system comes our way for tomorrow night into early parts of Saturday. So for now, here are the advisories, and here is a winter weather advisory, also a winter storm warning. These are pretty much southwest of the area for now. We'll likely get something for us tomorrow evening, as we do have some snowfall on the way for us tomorrow night into early parts of Saturday. But for now, looking at some snow back in the forecast tomorrow evening, probably a 1, 2, 3, 4 inch snowfall for tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Cold nights though, lowest night down near 6 and tomorrow down near 5. And then a quiet weekend for sure. Temperatures hanging out pretty much near 30 around here for the weekend. All right, for right now though, a gorgeous day, right? Light winds out there, plenty of sunshine. Nice, but tomorrow, here we go. The clouds are just to the west of us now, and there's a pretty big system over here. Most of it will travel to our south tonight and tomorrow, but for us, we'll likely get some snow tomorrow evening, as this thing is just massive, right? All the way back to the Great Lakes right now, as it moves our direction for tomorrow evening into early parts of Saturday morning. Let's walk it through. So tonight we have increasing clouds late, and tomorrow here we are about 9 o'clock tomorrow evening with light snow pretty much generally moving into the region. Then overnight tomorrow night, some light light snow across the area. Again, it's quickly out of here, though, by Saturday, say noon. Here's 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, or Saturday evening, looking at clear skies across the area. And we have a very nice but cooler weekend on the way, with plenty of sunshine and temperatures hanging out near 30 or so. I'm going to run this through Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, and here we are. Our next chance for meaningful snow after tomorrow night, not until Wednesday into Thursday of next week. So snowfall looks like this again. We're going to get some snow tomorrow evening, likely down east areas, coastal areas for sure. Could see a 2, 3, 4-inch snowfall in these regions tomorrow night. As we have our snowpack down to 9 now here in Bangor, we could use some more snow, and we definitely have some more snow in the forecast for us tomorrow night. Our forecast, though, for tonight, those partly cloudy skies, dense fog is likely with lows down near 6. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, high temperatures near 34 with a northeast wind around 5. Then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows snow tomorrow night and early parts of Saturday morning. Sunday, 36 for a high. Look at Monday, some more light snow back in the forecast Monday afternoon.
When Maine winter bites, nothing matters more than keeping your family warm. The solution is simple, a high-efficiency heat pump installed by Valley Home Services. It's the quiet, reliable warmth you need all season long. At Valley Home, we're your elite Fujitsu dealer, ensuring expert installation that delivers consistent comfort and maximizes your energy savings. And we make it easy to switch to efficiency heating and qualify for those valuable Efficiency Maine rebates. Stay perfectly warm without the high cost. For a warm, worry-free winter, trust the local experts. Valley Home Services. Winter warmth is waiting. Call us today.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing when you finance with GM Financial. Or qualified lessees can get this Silverado pickup for around $399 a month.
You heard it was a hit. You heard it was a smash. A wonder. A phenomenon. An international sensation. But you haven't heard them.
March 16 at the Cross Insurance Center. Get your tickets today.
A sharp pain in his chest. He knew it was his heart, but 2 hours from the big city hospital could tragically mean the end. But it wasn't. Thanks to Senator Susan Collins' tireless fight for Maine's rural hospitals. Because of Senator Collins' work, his local hospital had recently received up-to-date diagnostic equipment and upgraded facilities, all paid for with new federal funding. Lives are being saved. Call and thank our Senator Susan Collins for delivering this lifeline for Maine.
A cafe in downtown Ellsworth is under new ownership, and even though she's in her mid-20s, her familiarity with the establishment is quite extensive. Our Doug Banks has the story.
At 24 years old, dreams can sometimes feel far removed from reality. But for Sailor Desjardins, she's woken up and smelled the coffee. On Monday, the keys and tradition of the Flexit Cafe were handed over to her.
It's been pretty good so far.
Well, she's perfect. This is Paul Marcosian, who alongside his wife started the cafe in 2015. Its concept is what's called a third space, a place where people can sit down with a cup of coffee and stay for hours. Something the new owner is no stranger to, because when she was in college, she'd stop in, buy
a cup of coffee and some hash brown bites,
and study for hours. Never once was she asked to leave.
I really hope to keep that same vibe.
Desjardins also began working at her home away from home a few years ago. But this past fall, an opportunity arose.
I would tell people, you know, I'd like to retire in about 2 years. I've been saying that for like 6 years.
And I never really took him seriously because he's just always working.
But one day she asked me if I was serious
about selling Flexit.
And I said yes.
I knew I wanted to start my own business or take over another business.
We started talking and we came to an agreement.
So now begins a new chapter at a cafe, decorated with employee-drawn art and delicately crafted coffee. But their new chapter is written within the same book.
Most of the people that come in here know him, and he's able to just go out into the lobby and talk with almost everybody at every table. And I hope to be able to do that and form that connection with the community as well.
In Ellsworth, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks like a great tradition there that's continuing. Alrighty, folks, well, that's going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more, you can join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
Tonight, tracking dangerous winds fueling wildfires in multiple states.
Then you did it gratuitously. That's all. You got paid $2,800. I wouldn't come here if I were you. You're not in a good place with me. If you were out of pocket any money, I would say absolutely, they're responsible. They're responsible. It was their error, their responsibility. This was a mistake. You were not obligated to find them another band for their mistake. You chose to do that, and what you got paid was $2,800.
Since I couldn't do it personally, it cost an extra $1,200 to hire these musicians and rent the equipment.
Yes, but you got paid $4,000.
That's beside the point.
We're done. The case is dismissed.
Excuse, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
So many things. We didn't have anybody emceeing any of our events, so we didn't have toasts
They agreed before I sent any players to them
or anything like that. Even during our first dance, we have no idea what music they played.
to pay the extra money.
He had to actually stop me from saying something, and we just rolled with the punches.
She said she was dissatisfied, and I still don't know why.
But I told him, even after 15 years, he still owes me a first dance.
Because I wanted their wedding to be a success.
I'm just happy she's happy. We can move past this. Hopefully have another 15 years.
I'm glad this is over.
I owe her a dance.
Yes.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
A house fire in Augusta left one man badly injured today. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, crews were dispatched to 347 Riverside Drive, where Augusta Fire Chief Dave Groder says the fire started in the basement. Officials say one man was inside at the time. He was critically injured and rushed to a local hospital where Life Flight was dispatched to meet him. Groder says the fire was contained to the basement and quickly brought under control. The northbound side of Riverside Drive in Augusta between Route 3 and Stevens Road was shut down as crews worked the scene. The cause remains under investigation by the State Fire Marshal's office. The man's condition is not known at this time. Augusta police are investigating a suspicious package delivered to the Maine Republican Party headquarters. Chief Kevin Lully says officers responded around 1 p.m. to